What is up, y'all? We just lost to the Detroit Pistons. Tough loss. We should have won that game. Credit to Detroit. They played harder than us, in my opinion. I felt like they really outworked us tonight. We did have some good stretches we should have won. But at the end, it's funny because they just had a back to back, and it seemed like we were the ones who had no energy or no grit because they really seemed like they wanted to win, right? And especially in that fourth quarter, they were really dropping those threes, and it seemed like we couldn't stop it, couldn't close it out, couldn't get any, couldn't make it tougher because it looked like those shots weren't that contested. But the most disappointing thing for me was the free throws were just terrible. Like, it was terrible for us. If we had missed like what two or three free throws, okay, whatever. But we missed way too many. If we got all of our free throws in, and this was the final score, right? It was 127 to 121, and we got all those our missed free throws, we would have won. That's literally what it is, right? We missed what? Jesus Christ. 11. We missed 11. So, and those are like free points basically. Come on. At least get 80%. We shot 64%. 80% is even bad, for my liking. I like 85 and up, 90 and up. That's what I expect. Not 64.5%. Terrible. It's terrible. Just so disappointing. But hey, there were some good moments, but there were also bad moments. But honestly, the Detroit Pistons played well. They played well. They came out to play. Killian Hayes was on fire. He was doing everything. He was literally assisting, getting points, just defending well. He was really good, and he was having an injury, right? He had an injury and he got re-injured a little bit, and then Cade even too. Cade tweaked his ankle a little bit, went to the back for a bit. He became a little bit clutch. He came clutch in the fourth quarter. It seemed like everyone on their team became clutch in the fourth quarter. Jerami Grant, you already know Jerami Grant. He's a solid guy. Saddiq Bey, I thought he would turn it up in the fourth quarter, but not really. But they put on 3 guards in the fourth quarter to end it off, right? And it seemingly worked because, like, damn, they were playing well, way better than us in the fourth quarter. It seemed like something about us was just off. But anyway, let's get to the takeaways. So, for the first thing, it seemed like Nick Nurse was playing around with the lineups, especially with Dragic, and seeing who he fits well with. But it really felt like there was a lot of lineups, and there was a lot of different people with different players, right? Each player was, I don't know, there was a lot of lineups, and I think it was just Nick Nurse testing the waters a bit against in my opinion, he probably thought, and I'm sure a lot of people thought, the Pistons were a good team to try out these new lineups, right? Because it's Pistons, it's their, they had a game yesterday, it's a back-to-back. They're very low seed. They have like 2 wins, well now 3. They had 2 wins, and everything else was a loss, 9, and so it was a perfect time to try something new, especially with Pascal coming back, Dragic, and with Precious out, we just got to see what could happen. And some of the lineups were good, some not so good. I really like Delano. Delano played a lot well with basically everyone, in my opinion. But I think that's just his mentality or his just vibe in general. Whenever he gets into the game, he just affects it immediately. So that was good. Now the second point was the terrible free throw percentage, which I touched upon. I know later on I'll say, Pascal Siakam was the best performance, but there's one glaring issue about his best performance tonight was his free throws. He was 5 for 9. Yes, 5 for 9. He's 5 for 9. I want to cry. 5 for 9. Okay, sure, it's not 1 for 9, but 5 for 9 for a guy who's supposed to be who we're paying like 30 mil. Come on, man. You need to give me more than 5 for 9 free throws. Please, if you're going to go to the line, the whole point of getting to the line, driving those drives, is to get those buckets. That's the end goal. Not just getting the call. Getting the call is, yes, important, but actually making those buckets, that's the end goal. And 5 for 9 is not the end goal. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about free throws because I'm going to blow up. Third one, defense looked sloppy at times. I don't know something was off tonight. I don't know what it is. I can't really pinpoint what it was. Maybe it was a lack of trying, but I don't think it's a lack of trying, right? It's the Raptors. Our guys don't lack. That's the only thing we don't lack, We don't, but it looked like we lacked, that grit, that push, I don't know. Something about us, I don't know. I don't think it's true, but I feel like they kind of underestimated Detroit, maybe. I really don't think so. But I'm trying to think of reasons why we looked just uncharacteristic in terms of defense. I mean, it's not like we played terrible defense, because we did play good defense in certain times. But at certain times, we played terrible defense. Like, there were so many times where there was an open shooter and it was a good look, and Isaiah Stewart was dominating us. Isaiah Stewart. Now, I'm not going to say he's a terrible player. He's not a terrible player. He's a young kid, but definitely not great or even good. There's a lot of guys better than him, and still we played terrible defense against him. And it was weird because the first half, especially in the first quarter, we were getting a lot of second chance points. We were getting a lot of boards. But then it just looked like we gave up, kind of. Or we got tired. I'm not sure. Both teams are young teams, right? We have a young team and they have a young team. Detroit definitely has a younger team, but still they're a young team. And so, both teams should have had energy, but looked like we ran out of it. I don't know what it is. Now, the last one, Ken Burch played well. Stat-wise, it didn't really look like he had a great game, but if you just watched the game and just focused on him, you realized he played well. It definitely wasn't on the stat sheet. I mean, he got what, 2 points, 0 blocks, 0 steals, 1 assist, right? 5 rebounds. But the screens he was setting for Gary Trent were amazing. I swear. The reason why I feel like Gary in the beginning went off. He was like 5 for 5 field goals, and he was, at the end of the day, he was 4 for 10 from the 3-point line. But before that, he was on fire. He was 100%. 3 for 3, I believe, and there's a big part of me that thinks that Ken Burch played a role in that. He was setting such good screens for Gary to make Gary have such space that he can work with, right? I just think Ken Birch played just really well compared to Precious. Um, Precious had a similar game where, stat-wise it was a bit better, but he contributed a bit more. But Ken Birch today, I think he played very, very solid. I really want him to start as our center, but we'll have to see. Now the three usuals: best performance, Pascal Siakam, minus the free throws. I'm just gonna forget about that part. Just toss it away. Just toss it away. Woosah. But he played well. I mean, he was our leading scorer, right? He did get 6 fouls, but it's Pascal. He had limited turnovers. He only had 2, 7 assists. He ended up with a double-double, right? Because he had like 12 assists. Obviously, our leading scorer. And so, he's 5 for 9. Free throw. Oh, nope. Not going to talk about it. 2 for 3 in the 3-point. Nice. And 9 for 14. The field goal percentage. Field goal. It's just good. It's a good game. But, I feel like everyone was kind of mediocre. Just everyone. Except, Gary started hot. Gary had a good game. Yeah. But he kind of fizzled out near the end. I think he really just excelled in the first half and then quietly just died off. But it just felt like everyone was just mediocre. No one was playing great. Amazing. No one was playing like 9 out of 10. They were all playing like 6, and the good players were playing like 7, 7.5. That's it. So but it's good to see Pascal having slowly getting back to his old self, right? Now the worst performance, Chris Boucher. He kind of regressed again back to his KD impersonations, to a lesser extent, but still he didn't. He's not, maybe that fall knocked some sense into him. I don't know, but he's actually injured from that fall. I'm pretty sure his lower back, because he got suplexed. Poor him, man. But I'm sure he'll be back. And 6-man performance, Delano Banton. That kid, man, that kid can ball. Dropped 30 in the G League, then dropped like 12 today. He dropped what? Yeah, around there. Every time he came on, spark plug. Man, is he fast with the ball, man. Holy. Especially, behind the back. Holy, that was like his top speed. He was going top speed and he did it behind his back, Kept the dribble alive. And then passed it in an awkward, angle. And that was nutty. Delano is crazy. He's a crazy kid. Respect that kid, 46. Picked 46. Crazy. Anyway, Delano, 6-man performance. By far. I hope, man, he should play. He should play. He should get a lot more minutes. As Nick Nurse said, he should get a lot more minutes. And he probably will, because looking at tonight's performance, it just looks sloppy from a lot of guys. So we'll have to see. But it's time to just sleep it off. It's just best thing to do. Just sleep it off.